Hi there, my name's Chuck Rozanski and I own Mile High Comics in Denver, Colorado. I want to do a newsletter today about pricing, and that's probably the hardest newsletter for me to possibly do, may even take a couple of them, because of the fact that our pricing models are not based on the same criteria of what anyone else in the comics world uses or really needs to use. But we do, and this is going to be my attempt to figure out some way to explain to you why we do what we do. I brought us here to Boulder, Colorado, which is 30 miles from where our Denver warehouse is, because I wanted to show you McGuckin Hardware. McGuckin Hardware is a hidden gem of Boulder that very few people know about who don't live here, and yet it is the model for everything that I do at Mile High Comics, including our Mile High Comics Jason Street mega store. We'll go inside of McGuckin's and I'll give you a sense of why I model what we do after them. As you may have noticed by now, McGuckin Hardware is, first of all, huge, and second of all, incredibly well stocked. There may be a better hardware store in the world, but I don't think that I've ever seen it. This store is in the heart of Boulder and is something that is considered a total treasure here. It's not a part of a chain, it is independently owned, and it is a magnificent example of retailing to a very, very broad audience. They have just about anything here that you want, from camping gear to plants, to toys, to dishes, to lawn furniture. But for contractors, also, this is a great place to come, because if you need a left-sided widget, they've got it in 8 sizes and colors, and they've got people here that run around in green vests who can help you and who are very knowledgeable and can show you exactly how to use that left-sided widget. The thing about McGuckin's Hardware that affects Mile High Comics the most is that they do here, in a physical space, what we try to do on our website, which is that we try to offer anything and everything that you might want. But there's a cost to that, and that's something that most people don't understand and in many regards don't really care that much about. But it's a reality. When you come to McGuckin's Hardware, they're paying huge rent here. They're right in the heart of Boulder. Rents are about $60 a square foot. And so on a lot of their products, they have to charge a premium in order to cover that overhead. They do, however, have a lot of things that they do as bargains. And so we try to do the exact same kind of mix on our website. Whenever we can get items in bulk, when we can get items that we can afford to let go inexpensively, we do. But in order to justify the cost of maintaining 3 warehouses where we pay darn near $30,000 a month in rent, we have to charge a little bit more on some of our products. A lot of people understand that, a lot of people don't. It's just the way that it is. But McGuck's is such a treasure that personally, I come in here several times a year to buy things that I might be able to get cheaper over at Lowe's or Home Depot, but I don't give a damn. I want McGuckin's to be here when I need that left-sided widget, and thank goodness they are, because this is the kind of place that I truly value in my heart. So we've returned to our Jason Street mega store from visiting McGuckin's Hardware up in Boulder, Colorado. Now, Jason Street, a lot of people come into it and they are very impressed with the selection that we have, which is great, and they think that this is the greatest comic book store in the world, which I think it actually is. But what they don't realize is that my vision actually is much broader than what exists today, and that as far as I'm concerned, this is just a beginning. Think back on what we were looking at earlier when we were in McGuckin's, and the fact that that place is packed out, wall to wall. We have more room here actually than McGuckin's has in their very high-priced environment, and so we have the ability with this store to actually be a cooler place even than McGuckin's, but only dedicated to comics, graphic novels, and related materials. And as you can see down here, we're in the process of painting walls. This is our 4th year now of working on this project, and there's going to be the giant mural that used to be up in our Garden Grove mega store. That's 70 feet long by 40 feet high. That'll be going along that wall over there. So the next time that we do a video inside of the store, maybe I'll be able to show you that. But in the meantime, we'll go up to my office now and talk about pricing. Okay, I've got a little bit of show and tell here for today. In 79, I bought out Richard Alf's mail order business. If you go back to Marvel Comics from that time period, you'll see some of the little classified ads say Richard Alf's comics send away for our catalog. Well, this was Richard Alf's catalog, and it listed pretty much every comic book printed that was available for sale as a back issue in the late 1970s. To give you an idea, this was one of our catalogs, which was from slightly later after we bought him out. This is from August of 1980, and this was one of our buying lists. And this is what our catalogs used to look like. Then, if you go a little bit further down the road, 2 years later, our catalog was up to 48 pages. There was such an explosion in the number of comics that were produced that it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. By the time we got to the end of when we were printing catalogs, it was 4 times this size. Our last catalog, which we printed in 1996, was 130 some odd pages, but the type on it, this type, while it looks really small, we actually went to a smaller type. For those of you who know what type sizes are, we went to 4.25 type, and the leading on it was super tight, and there were 3 rows to every page. We were dying. Thank God the internet came along, because that allowed us to list all the things that we offer in a single sequence. Now I want to show you something else here. This constitutes a month of my life. This is 850 pages of items. There's 50 items to a page. And these are listings of what we offer on our website. I spent January, the month of January of this year, repricing comic books and trades on our website that start with either a number like 100 Bullets or 3 Geeks, or with the letter A. It's 40,000 items on our website that begin with a number or the letter A. That's from this in 1980. Every single month that goes by, there are more comics published, and every single month that goes by, we find more variants and small press books that were published in the past that we didn't know existed. We try to carry them all. And that's what fuels sort of the insanity that was expressed in the first few videos that we filmed, where I talk about the fact that 10 million comics is just a good start. So many of the items that we list in our database, we have no copies of, or we have a copy only in 1 grade. That doesn't work. With our website, what we try to do for you is, if you want a copy of Amazing Adventures number 12 in VG, we try to have it for you, because we know that you may not want one in fair, or you may very well not want to pay the price for one in near mint. So we're trying to stock everything. But that means if you take it times 6 different grades, that this is actually 240,000 different items, and we're not past the letter A yet. I don't want this video to run too long, so I'm not going to go into detail in this episode on the business models that are out there that we compete against. But that'll be my next episode, and I think that in explaining some of those business models, I'll give you a better sense of the benefits of what we do at Mile High Comics, the alternatives, and the economics that are behind each one of those alternatives. This is Chuck Rozanski. Thanks for taking the time to watch.